Hello, everybody. We're gonna do a little strange history. Alright, so we're gonna pick our song and dance song. Alright, We Love Lucy. It was November 30th, 1974, at a dig site in Haydar, Ethiopia. Don Johansen, an American paleanthropologist, was about to quit searching for fossils because of the 110-degree heat. We had that here in New York today. Before returning to camp, he and a colleague took a cursory look at one last slope because Johansen was feeling lucky. There he saw a piece of fossilized bone on the ground, then another, and another one, and another one. The scientists knew that they were onto something big. The fossils formed the partial skeleton of a very primitive female ape-like creature. That night, while celebrating their discovery, the researchers knocked back some beers while the Beatles song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" was playing in the background. Sometime during a night of partying, the Haydar expedition named their new find Lucy. Wasn't that cute? Lucy was the size of a modern child. She stood about 3'6" and weighed about 60 pounds, but she was no kid. Scientists estimate that she was about 21 years old when she passed away more than 3 million years ago. 403 million years ago. But really, honestly, that is a long time. But was she the missing link between apes and humans? Well, I think we know the answer to that. Scientists expected the missing link to have a big brain and an ape-like body. Lucy, however, had a small, chimp-sized brain with a lower body like a human's. For years, people have believed it was the human brain that separated man from beast. Now it seems to be our pelvis and blocking knee joints. In 1979, Mr. Johansen himself and his colleague Tim White, very, very bland name there, officially categorized Lucy as Australopithecus afarensis, southern ape from East Africa. I've heard Australopithecus before. She was related to the chimps, but also related to Homo habilis and Homo erectus, as well as us. Homo erectus. But scientists don't think she is the true missing link, or even if there is one. So maybe Cousin Lucy is a better description. Either way, she changed the way we think about our ancestors. And here's a fun fact about Lucy, a bonus fact. In 1938, legendary film producer David O. Selznick held auditions for a lead role in his upcoming film, Gone with the Wind. He wanted a redhead. A young starlet named Lucille Ball came in to audition, but it was raining outside and she was soaked. She was led to the producer's office and left alone to wait. Selznick walked in as she was trying to dry her hair. He had her quickly read the lines and dismissed her. She didn't get the part. Lucy never forgot, and in 1957 she and her husband, Desi Arnaz, Lucy! By then, two of America's biggest stars bought Selznick's old studio, renamed it Desilu, which is their Desilu Productions, if you didn't know, and set up their headquarters in that office that Lucy remembered so well. Alright, that is story 1 of Strange History, episode 1, with Eagle Jackson. That's me, flying through the air, reading books, shitting on crooks. Okay. Or I might be the crook. Speaking of crooks, we have the Manhattan hoax. We're not going to get into that one, though. Actually, we are. In 1824, a retired carpenter named Lozier stood on a soapbox in New York City and announced that because of all the new buildings, the southern tip of Manhattan Island had become too heavy and was in danger of sinking. His fix saw the island off at the northern end, tow it out to sea, turn it 180 degrees around, and reattach it. Now, I live in New York, not in Manhattan, but if you would cut, let's just read more. How about that? Claiming that Mayor Stephen Allen had put him in charge of the project, Lozier signed up hundreds of laborers, offering triple wages to anyone willing to saw underwater. He directed blacksmiths and carpenters to begin designing the 100-foot saws, 100-foot saws, and 200-foot oars needed to saw the island, and row it out to sea. Oh my God! He also arranged for the construction of barracks and a mess hall for his laborers, and the delivery of 500 cattle, 500 hogs, and 3,000 chickens. After 2 months of planning, the date arrived for construction to begin. They were going to saw off the tip of Manhattan. Just the tip, my friend. So after 2 months of planning, the date arrived. Scores of laborers, carpenters, blacksmiths, butchers, and animals, as well as a marching band and hundreds of onlookers, arrived at Spring Street in Bowery to see the historic project get underway. Sawing off the tip of Manhattan, turning it around, and reattaching it backwards. I'm saying that myself. That's what they're there to see. About the only person who didn't show up was Lozier, who suddenly left town on account of his health. He was actually hiding in Brooklyn, and although there was talk of having him arrested, he wasn't. Why? The authorities didn't want to admit that they've been duped. And that was the end of the story. I thought there was more to that story. So basically this guy just tricked. How did he make money? Whatever. Let's read Almost Assassinated. Let's just get straight into it. We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna make it fun, and we're gonna do a little bit of this.
Every time I get my hair cut, all I want is a dick in my ass.
Whoops, not that.
There is no planet B. There is no planet blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
And that is all I need to say about that. Alright, so this is called Almost Assassinated. September 1961. Assassins planted plastic explosives and napalm at the side of a road and set the bombs to go off when... Oh, let me finish. I didn't read the beginning. Almost assassinated. Charles de Gaulle, president of France from 59 to 69, may have set a record as the modern world leader with the most attempts on his life, 31. And here are some examples. Now, we know there were 2 in the news on Donald Trump, and multiple other ones that weren't in the news that were pointing the finger at Iran. But still, I don't believe it was 31. Anyway, September 61. Assassins planted explosive napalm at the side of the road and set the bomb to go off when de Gaulle's car approached. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just saying de Gaulle. But they detonated it too soon. De Gaulle's driver sped the undamaged car straight through the flames to safety. That's what you do. If you see flames ahead, you just hit the gas and go right through it. August 62, a team of assassins using submachine guns and hand grenades planned to attack de Gaulle's motorcade. But the lookout failed to spot the cars until they were already speeding by. Fucking idiots. Who are you hiring? To kill this man. Damn. The perpetrators only managed to shoot out a window and a tire on de Gaulle's, car there. This song's getting a little loud to me. I'm just... whatever. Anyway, yeah. So he escaped unharmed except for a cut on his finger that he got while brushing broken glass off his clothes from the window that got shot out. July 66, would-be assassins parked a car full of dynamite on the road to Orly Airport. At the appointed time, de Gaulle's car drove past the car bomb and nothing happened. Why not? The idiots were back. Useful idiots. Not very useful here. The night before the attack was to take place, the assassins decided to commit a robbery to raise the money they would need to make their getaway, but they got caught and were sitting in jail, unable to trigger the bomb. Fucking idiots. Alright, so 31 attempts, and that's only 3 of them, so there's still 28 more attempts that are, on the books on this guy. Alright, this story is called Next of Skin. Next of Skin. I don't know how to feel about this one. In 1881, I knew it. In 1881, a murderous train robber named Big Nose George Parrott was captured by angry townspeople in Rawlins, Wyoming, and hanged. After no next of kin claimed the body, 2 local doctors, Thomas McGee and John Osborne, those sound like 2 fake names, claimed it in the name of science. Dr. McGee examined Big Nose George's brain. Why is he called Big Nose? And gave the skull cap to his wife. So he gave this guy's skull cap to his wife. What is a gift? Like, happy anniversary. Then he removed the skin from George's chest and thighs and mailed the flesh to a tannery in Colorado, where it was made into human leather. Dr. Osborne then had the leather made into a coin purse, not my balls, another, like a real coin purse, a doctor's bag, and a pair of shoes. It's like Nazi stuff. Osborne loved his Big Nose George shoes. Oh man, this is fucked up. He wore them while practicing as a country doctor, and when he was elected Democratic governor of Wyoming in 1892. Oh, that's when they were real good. In what some claimed was a stolen election, by the way. It says in parentheses. He wore the shoes, the Big Nose George shoes, of course, to his inauguration, which must surely make him the only elected official in U.S. history sworn into office while wearing another man's skin. On his feet, nonetheless. Let's hope so, anyway. Yeah, I don't know about that. You've seen the Red Shoe Club. If you know about the Red Shoe Club, then you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If you don't, you could look it up. I would suggest looking it up on DuckDuckGo. Let's see if we can find another quick story before we, let's talk about Vlad the Impaler. Let's read about that motherfucker. Vladdy, you've been impaling way too often. 15th century Romanian ruler Vlad Dracula was better known as Vlad Tepes. Vlad the Impaler. His name, the name Vlad Tepes is a very weak sounding name. Vlad Tepes? It sounds like he's like, he reminds me of like Pedro, like, I'm thinking of Pedro from Napoleon D. Anyway. For his method of torturing and executing thousands of his enemies, he was known as Vlad the Impaler, and even his own countrymen. By impaling them upon wooden poles, a certifiable psycho, Vlad enjoyed watching people suffer, and made sure an impalement took several hours, sometimes even days. There were even various forms of impalement, depending on age, rank, or gender. That's fun. Men got it up the butt. Yet amazingly, in spite of his legendary cruelty, Vlad is often spoken as a hero in Romanian history. Why? Because he used the terror of his reign to maintain public order and defend the country against foreign invasion. Strength through power. Or power through strength. Whatever you want to call it. One time he scared off an advancing army by displaying the impaled remains of the previous invaders. 20,000 Turks impaled outside his city. Just imagine that scene if you walked up upon 20,000 bodies all impaled right in front of you. Would you even be able to... What would you do if you saw that? What if you could go back in time right now and just and land right at that scene, or even in the middle of it? So as you spin around and look everywhere, there's just every 4 or 5 feet there's another spike, 10-foot long spike coming out of the ground with a body put through it, and they were all rotting in different ways, and of course they were all picked by their different attributes. So you don't even know what area. Maybe the areas were marked like, this is the amputee area where we impaled many people without arms, and blah blah blah. Anyway, but old habits die hard. When Dracula was later overthrown and imprisoned, he would catch insects and mice in his cell and impale them. Whoa! Alright, Flatty Pew! So, yeah. Alright, we're gonna do more of this. I'm gonna read a little thing called Botched History, and then I'm gonna get out of here. But I'm gonna do more of this. If anyone hears this, let me know if you like strange history, and we'll talk about it. We'll do it. We'll do strange history stories. I'll even make videos, about strange history, showing the pictures of the people I'm talking about, and so on and so forth. Throughout our history, the words of the Declaration of Independence have inspired immigrants from around the world to set sail to our shores. Please do not. These immigrants have helped transform 13 small colonies into a great and growing nation of more than 300 people. President George W. Bush, President George W. Bush said that. More than 300 people. Now that is a strong army, wouldn't you say? I sure as fuck would, because I like me a George W. Bush 300-man army. I'm out of here. Have a good night.
Every time I get my hair cut, all I want is a dick in my ass.